Hey everybody, Chase here with Mountain Bikes and Motorcycles. Got a quick YETI SB130 factory demo here for you. I went to Yeti's factory in Golden, Colorado and took this brand new YETI SB130 out for a demo ride. Full disclosure, this ride was about a year ago, just as the SB130 came out. So it's a little old, but for some reason I hadn't posted this video. I don't know why, and I just remembered I had it the other day. So anyway, here we are, and then first thing I want to comment on is how well this bike climbed. Now, I will tell you that I took the SB100 out probably a week or so before this test ride and did this exact same trail here at Apex Park, and it did, of course, fantastic, being an XC geared bike. So, but what I was surprised at is that the SB130 climbs just as good as the SB100, and as you can see here, this techie rock section, I was very surprised at how much it did not get hung up on anything. It just monster trucked its way up the hill. And then I compared my Strava times afterwards and found out that I did the climb in the exact same time, actually 2 seconds faster on the SB130 than the SB100. Now I know Strava is not a very accurate way to gauge, you know, how fast you can climb, but I mean, I expected to be slower, significantly slower, with all the extra rear travel, but this thing scoots right up the hill. It's very stable, very confidence inspiring. The big 29-inch wheels, they just monster truck over everything. It's unbelievable. And through the corners, it didn't steer too bad. I'm still a little, still learning how to really work these 29-inch wheels through corners and the tight stuff, but its ability to just clobber over big chunky obstacles is just so amazing. You can make a bad line choice in this thing, it'll just bail you out. The ice here was actually a lot of fun to ride through. I hadn't done it before, or at least ridden this much ice. I think this was in October-ish of last year, maybe, and it was not quite slick ice. It was still mostly snow, a real hard pack though, so it was like ice skating down the hills. And the build they give you from the factory, or from Yeti's factory for the demo, I believe is typically an X01 race, so I think it's one step down from their top tier bike. So you're talking the Turk frame, factory suspension with the Kashima coat, X01, I believe it's X01 drivetrain, I don't think it's the XX1. But anyway, so it's pretty high-end build spec. You can tell when you're riding it. It feels feathery light, you know, the shifting, everything is impeccable. Really no complaints component-wise on this bike. Everything works really well. If you ever get the chance to get into Golden and do a factory demo, they're super laid back over there at Yeti. You give you the bike for 2 hours. I think it's not that much money, and the trail is literally a mile down the street. Like I said, I did the SB100 probably a week or so before on this exact same trail, same story. Just pick the bike up, drive a mile down the road, and they let you take it out.
Excuse me. Thank you.
And I was really impressed by the bike's composure. Coming down these hills, it kept wanting me to push it harder than I was comfortable doing. Being on a new bike that wasn't mine, you know, I was kind of playing it safe a little bit, but this thing just wanted to scream down these hills, so I really had to hold back a little bit. Brakes are, you know, they're guide. I believe they're guide RSC brakes on this bike. You know, they're not bad. The guides get a bad rap sometimes. They work. The rear brake does fade sometimes, coming down real steep hills, but it does its job pretty well, especially if you swap them out for metal pads. So I'm not going to complain too much about the brakes. And it really seems like, Yeti built this bike specifically for the Colorado Front Range, because this is a great weapon for the majority of the trails, at least that I've ridden out on the Front Range of Colorado. It handled this trail with ease, and I imagine it would handle most of the other trails I'm used to riding in the Front Range of Colorado with ease as well. Anything it's got some decent chunk, but you have to do a good bit of climbing on, this bike would be perfect for. I rode the SB100 again, like I said, which is nearly as good going downhill as the SB130, but of course it lacks a little bit of travel. And this thing has that extra travel and has almost the efficiency going uphill as the SB100. So what are my final thoughts? This bike's awesome. I'm a bit of a Yeti fanboy anyway, but it does everything great. I'm sure someone with a little more experience than me will be able to pick out some nitpicky things about it, but in general, super impressed with this bike. Does really, really well, and I would recommend it to anyone, especially on the Colorado Front Range who rides these type of trails. This is near the perfect weapon. So thank you guys for watching. You can like and subscribe, and you can visit my blog at www.mountainbikesandmotorcycles.com for some more mountain bike and motorcycle content. Thanks again.